going out to LA with nothing is tough because everybody's going out to LA doing the same thing. But going whatever business you're trying to be in, whatever hustle you have, you should find somebody that has a career that you think that you want, and you try to follow their course. So, you know, whether it's in fashion, whether it's in PR, internet, you know, filmmaking, who are the filmmakers that you like? And then research what did they do to get to where they are. Oh, they made a project, or they shot something, or they raised money, or they did this. So at the time, for me, it was this guy Spike Lee and Robert Townsend. Those were the two that I was looking at. And John Singleton, because he had just done Boys in the Hood. So looking at those guys and how they got started and like their path, and we said, oh, well, we can do that. So then you start modeling yourself, you know, after that, which is I gotta write something myself. I gotta shoot something myself. And then at FAM, I found an advisor. Her name was Dr. Vivian Hobbs, and she was a super cool teacher, and she like believed in the students. So we went to her with a plan and said, hey, we want to make this film, but how do we do that here? And because she was tapped in, she said, oh, we'll form an organization, you'll be the president, we can go out and get some money, this is how we do it. We say, oh, okay, cool. Then I know my friend so-and-so that wants to do this. And what that project did was it allowed everybody to bring their talents. So that way, if you knew clothes, then you can come do the clothes and use your hookups to dress all our people. Oh, you want to act? Bet, we want to get you to be the actor. Oh, you like sound, you like music? And it became like a collective project where everybody got to make it their own thing. And it's like we all came up together.
Yeah,
But one of the things I tell people that when you come into business, you come in, whatever it is, with a plan of how you want to get to the top. Like, business or doing your thing for yourself, like filmmaking specifically. It's not like going to high school. It's not like after 4 years you're gonna get a degree that says you're a filmmaker. There are people that are at this for 20 years and it never pops. It never makes it. But there are people that come in and after 2 years, it makes it. The difference is you. So you come in and you're the production assistant in whatever the hustle is, but on the side, you're doing your thing, proving to people who you are. So the production assistant just gets you on the boat. It just gets you in the room with other people to network. Then you go do your thing on the side. And you just let people know, oh yeah, you know, I'm doing my thing over here just to let you guys know. And then it comes out, whether it's on YouTube or at the film festival or whatever. And then you go do it again. Now 5 more people in the room are like, well, hey, you did the last one. I want to get down with this next one. And then now the next time, 10 more people, and before you know it, you're just the filmmaker. You're the one that's doing it, and other people are like coming to follow behind what you're doing, and then the people that make decisions change their perception of you.
I would definitely.
All right, well, if you are a writer, and you want to write something, you have an idea, before you share that, you want to protect that with the Writers Guild of America and with the Copyright Office. Don't take an idea and then mail it to yourself. That's fake, it doesn't work.
Really?
Yeah. Also too, you gotta also understand that there's no new idea under the sun.
Right.
The more detailed your idea is, the more of a chance that you have to protect it. So if you have an idea about a group of friends that live together and they're struggling to make it in, you know, New York, and then somebody else comes up with, and you send it to a company, and then somebody else comes up with friends, you can't say, oh, that's my idea. Well, there's so many shows about people that move to New York that stay together. What makes you think it is your idea? But if your idea is so detailed and so unique, and one person from Saudi Arabia, and he was, you know, the prince, and another girl, she's from, you know what I'm saying, and you make everything detailed and unique to you, then it's more of a thing. You know, you protect yourself that way. you want to have a lawyer look over any contract that you sign, an entertainment lawyer, not somebody that sues people for lawsuits. They're different things. So an entertainment lawyer is somebody that has seen deals like this before. They can talk about, residuals, which is like, royalties that you get off of certain things. You need that. Also, too, is don't take stuff personal. A lot of times people will come at you and they'll say stuff and, you'll never be this, you'll never be that. Okay, that's their opinion. If you're an actor, a lot of times you get rejected. As an actor, you come into a room full of people and they're just standing there and they say, hey, okay, go ahead and read this. Next, but the reality is that some roles aren't for you. We may have something in mind and you may come in and I may see you and say, okay, not what I had in mind for this. I'm looking for her. And then she comes in and it's her. So you don't have to pretend to be anybody that you aren't. Let your headshot be who you really are. And again, I suggest make stuff that means something to you personally, if you're creative, but also know who your audience is. If you're just making stuff for you, then just be an artist. But if you want to be in show business, you got to make stuff that somebody else would want to buy and just give it a soul. And last thing I'll say about this is, if you got thin skin, if you're super sensitive, then don't do this. And if you buy into the hype of so-and-so made it overnight and they got discovered by the one person, that's fake. Because the overnight success happened after 10 years of grinding that you never heard of. This is what it is. GoFundMe. There's a dude that I know named Matthew Cherry. And he had a GoFundMe set up to do his short. And people paid for his short, an animated short about good hair, and it won an Oscar. And that was GoFundMe. So I see people all the time raising money for their films. You can get, when we did Chocolate City, we got in-kind services. So what we did was, because we were FAMU was a state school, and we were an on-campus organization, then companies could lend you their equipment and they can write it off in their taxes. So we get all our equipment for free as long as we had an advisor. Then we got student government to give us money because they have to zero their budget out the end of every year. So you got all this extra money. Hey, why don't you go ahead and help invest in our film and we can make a movie that represents us all. There's all kind of ways to hustle and find ways to get your movie made. All right, so if you have a project that's already done, then the best thing to do is to play the festivals where they're going specifically looking to acquire projects. To go right to studios and networks, to their acquisitions department where they acquire new stuff, and everybody's looking. Those are the easiest ways. A lot of times with production companies, if it's already done, unless you're looking for somebody to remake it, then that's typically not the way that you want to go. Or if you know of somebody here that has a name, like let's just say Ludacris, T.I., somebody like that, and they're set up and they're tapped in, then maybe, T.I., if he has a deal at Warner Brothers, can say, oh, I like this project, I'll take it to my guys over there, and then we'll set it up as T.I. Presents, and then it's your thing. But now what you gotta understand is that once you do the deal with T.I., then in the pecking order, it's gonna be T.I. It's your project, but the deal's only happening because T.I. So we all have to know where we are in the pecking order. Doesn't mean that we're not worth whatever. It just means that for everything that we do, we work our way up, and that controls how much influence we have. And again, if you don't like that, cool. Stay independent.
Okay. So
my thing is that for everybody that does a bunch of things, do some of those things, but primarily focus on one to break in. So I use Jamie Foxx for example. He wanted to sing, and that was not really taking off for him. So then he wound up doing stand-up, which led to acting, which brought him back to singing, and now he does them all. And it's not to say that give up on your dream, but when you walk in the door, you know, it's like if I look at my youngest boy, I'm like, hey, so what do you want to do? I want to be a ninja and a Power Ranger and an engineer and a football player. All right, you know what I'm saying? But when you come in, it's like, no, I'm an actor, and and that's really what I want to do. And then in the field of acting, oh yeah, but I also play the piano, I also sing. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So then through the lens of acting, then we get a chance to get turned on to all of your other talents. And then it's like, oh yeah, and on the side I'm producing this documentary about Madam C.J. Walker, because that's really my passion. Oh wow, it's the actor that sings and dances, but it's also a filmmaker. But I believed you because at first you were an actor who was good. So just keep all that stuff alive, but be open enough to kind of figure out which one is getting the most traction and then pour into that. Because when that grows, it can kind of springboard you into other stuff for your other passions. In casting, number one is being prepared. So if you come in and you don't know the material, you don't love that. If you don't know something or have a question about something, ask. Say, hey, before I read, can I have a couple questions so that way you get clarity? Also, be open. Like a lot of times people will practice something a certain way and say, hey, I'm reading this character, and in my mind, she is this person. Well, you want to be open to direction because your take on it might be totally wrong. And it's kind of like if you play sports, coaches want somebody that's coachable. And if you're determined to do something in your own way, you can't really get better. But if you come in and you're open and you have an opportunity to really do that, and my thing is leave it all out on the field. Like you're not coming in to be you, you're coming in to be this character. So, whatever hang-ups you have, leave out there. So if you can kind of come in and embody that character and you're not worried about getting dirty or grimy or, making yourself look like a fool for the sake of the role, that tells us that you'll become who that person is rather than making it about you. It depends on what you want to do. I mean, Atlanta's a great place to be. It's a lot of production. I love it. I live here. And you can make it here. The thing about LA is where the deals get done. So you don't have to sleep on somebody's couch and stay there forever, but you want to be able to go out there periodically and do stuff. What I suggest for LA is, if you go to LA, have something going on. Going out to LA with nothing is tough because everybody's going out to LA doing the same thing. But going out to LA having just shot the indie project and it's going to be in the festival out there. You just, are, partnering with somebody. Like you go out there with some kind of momentum to say, oh yeah, I'm the person that did so-and-so and this was coming out. Then people handle you different.
Yeah.
Yeah.